Before we begin, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because here, every story we tell brings history, heritage, and hidden treasures right to your screen. You never know which coin lying quietly in your drawer could change the way you see the past, and maybe even its worth today. Now, imagine this. It's the year 1970. South Africa is a country standing on the edge of great change, a land divided by politics, but rich with beauty, culture, and craftsmanship. That was the year a small but powerful symbol of pride rolled out of the South African mint. A coin so simple at first glance, yet so deeply rooted in the country's story that it still commands attention half a century later. I'm talking about the 1 Rand coin of 1970, bearing the solemn and noble words Soli Deo Gloria, glory to God alone. To most people, it's just a piece of silver-colored metal. But to the collector who understands its story, it's a reflection of history, of artistry, and of values that shaped a nation. Let's take a closer look. The obverse side, that's the front, carries a design that immediately captures your eye. A proud image of Jan van Riebeeck, often regarded as a founding figure in South African history. His face, detailed and dignified, was used for years on South African coins, but the 1970 minting carried something special. The craftsmanship had improved, the finish was refined, and each detail, from the curve of the collar to the expression in his eyes, stood out with remarkable clarity. Around him, the words South Africa and SUD Africa appear, marking both the English and Afrikaans heritage of the country at the time. It's a coin that speaks 2 languages, but carries one story, a story of a nation's complex identity. Now flip it over, and the reverse tells its own tale. The Springbok, light and graceful, leaps across the surface, an image that's become a symbol of South African endurance and spirit. Underneath, the denomination, 1 Rand. Above it, those Latin words that give the coin its soul, Soli Deo Gloria. The motto wasn't just a decoration. It was a message, a quiet reminder of humility, gratitude, and faith. In an era when the world seemed to be shifting rapidly, those words grounded the design in something timeless. For many who lived through that period, this coin brings back memories. The crisp sound of change in the pocket, the feel of cool metal in the palm, the way currency connected everyone, from the man buying his morning paper to the farmer selling his produce. The 1 Rand wasn't just money, it was part of daily life. And yet, few realized that decades later, this very coin would become a cherished piece of numismatic history. Collectors today don't just see a coin, they see craftsmanship and condition. The 1971 Rand was struck primarily in nickel, though a small number were minted in silver for proof sets. Those proof coins, with their mirror-like finish and pristine detail, are where the real value hides. The quality of the strike, the shine of the metal, the absence of scratches or marks. All these small details can make the difference between a few dollars and a fortune. But what makes this particular year so fascinating isn't only the design or the limited proof runs. It's the historical context. 1970 was a time when South Africa's coinage was shifting, moving away from silver to base metals, reflecting changes in both economy and policy. So those early examples that still carried the older purity or were struck to proof standards became instant rarities in the years that followed. And as collectors worldwide began to appreciate the craftsmanship of South African minting, these coins found their way into collections in Europe, Australia, and the United States. There's another layer to this story, the emotional one. Many collectors who seek the 1971 Rand aren't just after metal, they're after memory. They remember a father's coin jar or a grandfather's desk drawer filled with old currency from a time long gone. When they hold that coin again, it isn't just about numismatic value. It's about reliving a piece of their youth, their heritage, their connection to the past. That's what gives these coins a value beyond price tags and auction listings. That's what makes them personal. And yet, let's talk about the reality of its worth today. Over the years, the market for South African coins has grown quietly but steadily. The Krugerrand may steal the headlines, but the 1 Rand series, especially those from the late 1960s and early 1970s, has developed a dedicated following. When a coin is rare, beautifully preserved, and carries the powerful symbolism that Soli Deo Gloria brings, collectors are willing to pay more than you might expect. Condition is key. A circulated coin, one that's seen pockets, tills, and years of handling, might fetch a modest price, enough to make you smile. But a proof coin, sealed and untouched, gleaming as though it left the mint yesterday, that's where the magic happens. Those are the pieces that go under the hammer at collector auctions and surprise even seasoned bidders. So, let's say you're holding one in your hand. A 1971 Rand coin. Crisp, clean, untouched. You tilt it under the light and see the Springbok leap in perfect detail. You read those words again, Soli Deo Gloria, and you realize this is not just metal. It's a message cast in nickel and time. You begin to wonder, what could something like this be worth today? Well, here's where the story meets its reward. In recent evaluations and collector sales, a genuine 1970 South Africa 1 Rand coin, in pristine proof condition, preserved with care and kept free from the touch of time, has reached an estimated value of around $3,300. Yes, you heard that right. A single coin, once worth a single Rand, now valued at over $3,000. And that's the beauty of numismatics. What once jingled in a pocket can, with patience and preservation, turn into a prized treasure. It's not just about money. It's about the story behind the metal, the journey from mint to memory, and the craftsmanship that outlasts generations. So, if you happen to have a 1 Rand coin from 1970 lying around, maybe in a drawer, maybe in an old box of keepsakes, take another look. History might just be sitting quietly in your hand, waiting for its moment to shine again. But if you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more. Because every coin tells a story, and here, we bring those stories to life, one treasure at a time.